Everyone, Alex here for Bright Dog Academy. If you'd like me to personally answer any questions you may have about your dog, be sure to head over to brightdog.com where you can learn about my online training program, plus pick up a copy of the official Bright Dog Academy ebook. Teaching your dog to rest. What is rest? Well, rest is like a version of down, but it puts your dog on their side. And this is a great command because it gives you lots of control over your dog. This is a good position for your dog to be in when they're meeting new people. It's also good for you to be able to have your dog in this position to examine them. You can see their belly, see underneath them. It's just a good position to be able to have your dog in. Also nice if you are going to have your dog stay for an extended period of time. It's very easy on their body. So let me show you how we teach our dogs to rest. Step one with teaching our dogs to rest. First thing that I would like you guys to do, get your dog to lay down. Because this is the position we're going to get our dog to rest out of. Now, when your dog lays down, take a look at his or her, the back legs. This is very important because whichever way the back legs are pointing, the dog is going to rest and lay down the opposite way. All right? So what you're going to do, we're going to start off with a treat. That's going to be our food lure. We're going to get the treat and we're going to put it right in front of the dog's nose. And remember, whichever way the dog's back legs are pointing, they're going to rest the opposite way. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the treat, we're going to try to bring it around the dog's neck, and what's going to happen is as the dog tries to follow it, they're automatically going to lay down. We don't say anything until the dog is in the position. We're completely quiet while we're trying to lure it. Once the dog is in the position, we say rest, and then we go ahead and we give him the treat. Alright? So this is one of those commands that's going to take a lot of practice in the beginning. And you'll probably notice that you're trying to lure him and your dog gets confused and he stands up. So that's okay. You just get him to lay back down, watch the direction of his legs, and then we try again. Luring him completely quiet. Once he's in the position, we say the word rest, and then we give him the treat. And it's okay. Once he gets the treat, that's fine. If he wants to sit up, stand, that's fine. The key is to give him the treat while he's in the rest position. So step one, we start off, have our dog lay down. Treat's going to go in my hand, and I'm going to bring my hand around the dog's neck. Once the dog's in the position, we say the word rest. We don't say anything in this step until the dog is in the position. Alright, let me get him to lay down first. Max, down. Good boy. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, treat's in my hand, I get it right in front of his nose, nice and close. I'm going to bring it around his neck. You see his back legs are pointing this way, so he rests the opposite way. Bring it around and rest. Good boy. Don't say the word until he's completely flat. That's when you give him the treat. Try again. Good job. So, treat right in front of his nose. He can be nibbling on it, that's fine. Bring my hand around. Not quite. Try again. And rest. Good boy. So you have to have some patience with this, especially in the beginning. You're basically, you're just trying to manipulate his body by taking the treat in your hand and almost pushing into him, into their neck area here. And rest. Good boy. So that's step one. The next step with rest is basically the opposite of what we just did in step one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start asking the dog for the command. So what we're going to do is get our dog to lay down, and then we're going to say the word one time. We're going to say rest. If the dog does it, excellent. Give him a treat. Alright? If the dog doesn't do it, that's fine. All we're going to do is lure him. We take that food and we lure him. You bring it right around his neck. Once he's in the position, then you give him the treat. And that's all it is. Alright? So we're starting out to ask the dog for the command. We're no longer telling him what he's doing while he's doing it. We're simply asking for the command. If he does it, great. We give him a treat. If he doesn't do it, that's fine. We don't repeat. We don't get angry. We just lure him into the position. And once he's in the position, then we go ahead and reinforce, give him the reward. Step 2 is rest. So I'm going to say the word. If he does it right away, good, treat. If he doesn't, then I'm going to lure him. Okay? Max, rest. He doesn't do it, so I lure him, just like we did in the first step. Good job. Good boy. Right? I say the word first this time. I'm asking the dog to do it now that he's already familiar with it from the previous step. So, okay, again. Max, rest. Good boy. That time he did it. That's what we want. That's the goal there, right? Good boy. Okay, that's rest, step 2. Step 3 with rest is quite similar to step 2. All right? You're going to start off, have your dog lay down, tell him to rest. And now we're going to see what he does. All right? You say rest. Does he listen? Yeah, he listens. He rests right away. Excellent. Give him a treat. If he doesn't listen, this is where step 3 changes. We're no longer going to lure him with food. We're just going to use the hand signal. So no food in your hand anymore. And if he listens, excellent. That's when we give him the treat. All right? So we're going to still give him a treat, but we're going to do it with the opposite hand now. We're no longer going to lure the dog and give him a treat with that same hand. We want the dog at this point to be responding just to the word, or if he needs help, just to the hand signal. If he can't do this, that means we need to go back a step and practice more the way we did in step 2, right? But this is basically all step 3 is. We say the word, we give the dog a chance to do it. If he does it, excellent. Treat, reward him. If he doesn't do it, then we're going to give him the hand signal, and as a reminder, what this command is. And then once he does it, then we give him the treat as a reward. But remember, treat with the opposite hand, because the whole point here is to start weaning away the treat. Step 3 is rest. Very similar to step 2, we say the word. If the dog does it, good, we reward him right away. If he doesn't do it, we're going to give him the hand signal. We're going to treat with the opposite hand. We don't lure them anymore in this step. So we're going to start off having him lay down, Max down, down. Good boy. Okay, so nothing in this hand. Stop. Max, rest. He does it, good boy. I treat him with the opposite hand. Good. I'll try again, let's go. Okay, nothing here. Max, rest. Good boy, good. So he's getting it. I'm not even having to use my hand signal to get him to do it. Max, back up. Good job. Max, rest. Doesn't do it. Hand signal. Treat with the opposite hand. Right? So step 3, we're weaning away the hand signal. If he doesn't do it, we're weaning away the treat in our hand, weaning away the lure. So if he doesn't do it, just the hand signal, treat with the opposite hand. The final step of rest is teaching our dogs to generalize. That when we say rest, it means rest no matter where they are. So you made it to step 3, your dog's doing it with just the word, and you've probably been practicing in 1 or 2 settings, mostly at home, I would imagine. So what we're going to do now is up the distraction level. We're going to go to the front yard, where there's people, there's cars, there's new sounds and smells, and we're going to ask our dog to rest. And we're going to see if he does it. And if he does it, excellent, you give him a treat. But odds are, he's not going to do it the way he did in step 3. So that's okay, because we're at a higher level of distraction. So what do? We try to practice an easier way. We go down to step 2, where we say the word, and then if the dog doesn't do it, we lure him with food. Dogs still can't do that because we're in a higher level of distraction, so we go down to step 1, and we start all over again. This is a very common thing you're going to find. As you go up to higher levels of distraction, you have to practice an easier version of the command. And then what we'll do is we'll build it back up. After a couple of days, maybe it'll take a week, we go from step 1 and we get back to step 2. And then after that, we get back to step 3 eventually. So once you get back to step 3 in this level of distraction, now we go to a more difficult place. We go to a park, where now there's little kids riding bikes and baseball games and more sounds and smells, and we test them here. And can you do it at step 3 in the high level of distraction? Nope, that's okay. We go to step 2. Can he do it at step 2? Yeah, he can. Excellent. We don't have to go all the way down to step 1. So we practice step 2 in this new level of distraction until we get to step 3. Once we get to step 3, he's good at the park, we go to a higher level of distraction. Now we go to the dog park. Alright? And you can do this with multiple levels of distraction, but this is the way that you teach your dog to generalize. That when we say rest, it means rest anywhere, all right? Go slow, start out, we want to always test and see if we can get the highest level of command at each distraction level. But odds are that's not going to happen. You're almost always going to have to go down minimum one step, sometimes two. The goal here, though, is to try to get as close to 100% compliance as possible. We always set up our dog to succeed. So the higher level of distraction you go, be prepared to go down to an easier version of the command, and then you build it back up.